evening, everyone. Just in time, the sun's come out, it's stopped raining, and temperature's gone up a bit, so I'm not out here with my fleece on getting cold, which is nice for a change. I hope you're all well and safe, and not quite sure what's going to happen come the weekend, but we're still cooking. It's also gearing up, ready for UK Barbecue Week, guys. So lots over on UK Barbecue Week to get your bakes on, starting on Saturday. I think it's burgers Saturday, Sunday's roast Monday, meat-free Monday, tacos Tuesday, wings Wednesday. Go have a look and see what you can cook. I'm going to try and cook every day. I can now because thanks Dave, I've had a charcoal delivery today. My first delivery of the Kamado Joe Big Block charcoal. And something else also fell in the cart when I picked up my charcoal. So I haven't opened it yet. So Mark Dennis, that's your fault I've got that if you're watching. Not sure if we're going to actually cook on it tonight, but I know the cake isn't going to cook in there tonight. So I'm looking forward to using that because the cast iron pans I have got handles on. So at least if that one can sit in the accessory ring and can shut the lid and cook it with the lid on. And it's also going to sit nicely on Junior. So looking forward to using that for some curries and stir fries and fajita type dishes. So really looking forward to that. So so tonight is a Bakewell cake or Bakewell tart. So it comes from up in Derbyshire, and the traditional Bakewell pudding that's what it started off as, the Bakewell pudding, which is a puff pastry base filled with like an egg custard middle. Whereas the Bakewell tart has short crust pastry at the bottom, jam, and then like a frangipani topping. So that's what the difference is. They're both really tasty. I've been there, tasted them both. So I hope I'm going to be able to replicate it. Now this recipe has almond extract in it, but it doesn't actually have ground almonds in the mix. Some have ground almonds as well to give it that really sort of almondy, nutty flavour. So there's obviously a few different recipes out there. So it's quite easy to do. So what I've done already, just to be quick and to save time, I've lined my pastry dish, or my baking dish, with some buttery short crust pastry. And you can buy it ready made, but you know, it's so easy to make it yourself. And it's one of those puddings that you can make up beforehand, put in the fridge, and if you haven't got room to cook it on your barbecue whilst you're doing your meat, you can put it on once you've taken it off. It'll cook in about half an hour, and it'll be ready to eat once you've finished all your meat. So that's what you need to do first, is make your pastry, roll it out, line the base because you don't want it to stick on the bottom. So I've greased the sides, lined the bottom, and that's where we've got to there. So the top mixture is some flour, so self-raising flour. Into there you also need a teaspoon of baking powder, just to give it that extra little rise. Not too much, because otherwise you can actually taste the baking powder in it. So a level teaspoon of baking powder. Butter. If you like, I can post the recipe up in the files later if you want to have a go. Caster sugar, it's great because it's an all-in-one cake, so you can just put everything in. 2 eggs. Anybody joining us tonight, Ashley?
Yeah, we've got Chris Truby says hi Sue, love the new wok. Roberto Stevens says good evening both.
Good evening, Roberto.
Roberto also says, what's the tipple tonight?
Now the tipple tonight, I had a little trip out in my car today and I went to my workplace. I haven't been there for 3.5 months, so saw the lovely boys there down at Big Fire, and there's a little farm shop on the estate where the shop is, and I had to just pop in there, and I've got some Hunt cider, so that's my tipple tonight, Roberto, and to the boys at work, so cheers, it was nice to see them. So yeah, so eggs, flour, sugar, butter, half a teaspoon of almond extract, and already you can smell the almonds. Can you smell that, Ashley?
Hang on, let me get my nose close to the bowl. Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, you need 2 tablespoons of milk. I was so excited about my delivery when I came back earlier. I'm not actually sure what we're going to have for dinner tonight, Actually, it might just be Bakewell, Bakewell tart or cake. So yes, milk, almond extract. Right, ready to whisk. So there we go. You could probably give it a good old beat with your hands, but if you've got an electric point while you're outside, saves you going back inside. But as I say, it's one of those puddings you can make up earlier in the day and leave in the fridge, so it's ready to cook. Beat that so it's nice and smooth and light and fluffy.
Have you got any top tips for people trying to do this at home?
Well, just get all your ingredients ready and bake it first. Now I've actually made some raspberry jam. That's the traditional jam to go in a Bakewell tart. But I'm thinking, you know, any jam will go well, or any stewed fruit, because obviously we're coming into summer fruit season, or even if you just sort of macerate some fruits in some sugar and maybe a little bit of liqueur that you've got in your drinks cabinet, let that sit for a while, mash it down, put that on the bottom. I think that's going to be a winner. And what's great about this cook is that because you've got the pastry base, don't need to worry about baking it blind because of the way the Kamado Joe works and the heat coming from underneath. You want that pastry to cook, and it will cook. So no need to worry about putting any paper in and baking beads. So it's just not so healthy perhaps because you've got pastry and cake mixture. But you've got fruit, so that's some of your 5 a day. So that's okay. Just make sure that's all mixed together.
Michael Paul says, can I lick the bowl?
Right, so this is quick. I like these puddings that are quite quick to make. You spend more time than out in your garden. So where did that get you, Ashley?
Oh no, all clean.
Right, so yes, so raspberry jam preferably. So it's jam picking, it's fruit picking season. So I've made this the other week with some friends' raspberries. Actually, I'm not sure if they were raspberries. They might have been tayberries. hoping to go fruit picking in a week. So you want a good sort of 4 tablespoons on the base of your cake or tart, and then you want to get your knife and just sort of spread it to the edge. So if you're stuck for recipes for next week's cooks, there's lots on the UK barbecue website. Some of mine are up there.
Is that a Facebook group or is it a website?
It's both. It's all on social media, on all platforms. But I know a lot of you will be taking part in it. Yes, so fruit on the bottom, like so. Then you want to put the cake mixture on the top. Left my nice spatula inside, but there you go. And then what I tend to do is put lots of little doubles on, because you don't want to put the jam up in the mixture. You want that to have a separate layer. So by doing it this way, it's easier to spread.
We've got Mark Dennis saying that won't fit in the wok.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what desserts I can do in that wok, actually. I might surprise you guys. I'm thinking a steamed pudding in there with some fruit at the bottom and sponge on the top. And then you bring that to the table and then you can just dive in. Right, so, and then you just want to level that over the jam. If anybody's in the EX postcode area, a couple of slices I can arrange to leave on the doorstep, because I don't know how we're going to manage to eat these. The neighbours are going to be lucky again tonight, Ashley. Do you like Bakewell tart, Ashley? I don't think I've made it for you before.
I don't remember eating it. I think it would be nice to try. We've got Cy McInerney says,
Hi,
I can't believe I'm watching a tart being cooked on a KJ. What? No meat?
you can cook. You know me, I will cook anything in the KJ. So right, so level off the top. And then you sprinkle it with some flaked almonds. Now, also a Bakewell tart, you will also sort of picture with having icing and a cherry on the top, which is where the difference is between the Bakewell tart and the Bakewell pudding. If any of you are up in Derbyshire, perhaps you can correct me on that, but I think that's how it is. I've tried both. I've been to Bakewell, tried both, the cake, the pudding, the tart, whatever. Both very nice, all very nice, with a cup of tea.
I think we're going to start to push the prices of the houses next door to us up, because people are going to be fighting to become our neighbour.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Si, it's McInerney. McInerney?
Right, so that's ready to go in the dough. Let's have a quick sip because it's thirsty work making a cake. True to form, I have a Blue Peter moment, and I put one in the dough about half an hour ago. Using my nice big block charcoal today. I only put about 7 pieces in there and it was full up. So, the moment of truth, I've got to see if it's done. Ready? Da da da! Whoa! So yes, so the sponge puffs up and it's just starting to colour nicely. I am just going to turn it round just to get a bit more even colour on it. And like I normally do with my bakes, I put it on a raised tin just because I don't want to burn the base. But that's quite firm actually. I'm going to do the little cake test. I'm going to put a skewer in. But I do think it needs a little bit longer. It's had about half an hour. Oh, it's come out clean. But I say, it doesn't colour so much. It was on about 180, so hotter than perhaps I would normally have it, just because I wanted to make sure it was cooked in time. So I think that is about done. I'll just check. Yeah, so it's cooked.
If it passes the cake test.
Well, it does.
That is a cake.
Oh, it's scary. Anyway, so we'll take this one off and we'll put the other one in to cook. Now I use these sort of terracotta style ceramic dishes. They're used to going into your normal oven, so they're also great for going in the dough. So use your normal baking tins. So maybe get your ladies to cook and get them involved in the barbecues as well. So yes, we'll take that off and put the other one in. And pop the other one in. You see how much it's risen. So that's going to go in there for about half an hour. Okay, see you in a minute. Well, see you in half an hour. So we'll bring this over here. Ideally, I think you're going to let it cool down. It will probably cut easier. But we're going to have to give it a try. You can dust it with icing sugar. Just to make it look a bit pretty. There we go. And then we'll try and get a slice out. But I say ideally you want it to cool down. So it'll be like getting the first slice out. It's always going to be hard.
Chris Treby says, no cherries?
You can drizzle it with icing and stick some cherries on the top. Of course. This is the tricky bit. I've got the paper under there. This is where you want it to go cold, really. Oh, that's going to be okay, hopefully. Let me get my plate ready.
Oh, smells brilliant. Nice and light.
There we go. So it will cut better once it's cold. But you've got your layer of pastry, and the pastry is nice and thin, a nice layer of jam, and then the nice light spongy almondy mixture on the top. I'm pretty pleased with that. Phew! So if you have it warm, you could have it with cream or ice cream. I think that worked really well. Or because we're in Devon, you might want some clotted cream. Add on the calories. So yeah, so I'm going to have a little taste. Because that's what we do, isn't it? Have a little taste. That smells so good. And the topping's really light. Look at that. And the bottom's not soggy. So yeah. And we've got the pips of the raspberry jam and the almond flavour and the pastry and the sponge and the almonds. It's delicious. So right guys, I'll pop the recipe up later if you want to have a go. If you want to have a go at baking, do. It's fun. And fire up and get cooking, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers guys.